This one says specifically, the smallest standard size metal box that can be used for the following is a blank. And then they're going to give us this wonderful list of what is inside of here. Okay, we've got 1/2 inch Romex exterior connector. Does that matter? No, no, it's external to the box. Gotta love that. Right off the bat, they're trying to throw us through loops. Let's take a look at the code on that real quick, since we're going to be jumping back and forth a little bit on these. I'm going to head over to 314.16 for volume, and we're going to take a look at, let's see, okay, clamp fill. And what it says right inside of clamp fill specifically is internal cable clamps. Okay, so make sure you're not adding that in there. This is one of their gotcha moments. I gotcha. We put that in there. Okay, so we're just going to ignore that. Now, we do have a 14.2 Romex coming into this. It's non-metallic. It's got a ground inside of it, so that's good to know. We've got 120 amp 240 volt duplex receptacle. We've got a PVC exterior connector. Again, it's exterior. We can get rid of it. We have two 12 gauge conductors that are connected to the receptacle. We have one 12 gauge equipment grounding conductor. And we have two 14 gauge connectors to be connected to the NM cable with wire nuts. Cool. Let's start a list. Okay, so I'm going to do number 14s because I have 14s and I have number 12s. And that's what is coming into this box. So I am just going to write that all out. So the grounds I'll keep separately for now. Okay, we're just going to kind of keep an idea of how many grounds we have inside of here, and then we will do that total at the end. So that 14.2 is going to have two conductors and a ground. Okay, so for the conductors, I'm basically going to have two 14s here. Okay, I've got a 20 amp duplex receptacle, and it says the 12 gauges are connected to the receptacle. So I have two 12 gauges here. And then for my device allowance, okay, I've got that 20 amp device there. I have to do a double allowance based on the conductors that are connected to it. Let's take a look at that real quick. Okay, device or equipment fill in 4. Says for each yoke or strap containing one or more devices or equipment, a double volume allowance, in accordance with the table, shall be made for each yoke or strap based on the largest conductor connected to a device or equipment supported by that yoke or strap. Okay, so that is going to be worth a double volume allowance. Okay, so I wrote that in so I can get it off my list. I got these two 12s connected to the receptacle off my list. I got this portion off my list. Now I've got 112 equipment grounding conductor here, but I'm just going to keep going past it. I'll do grounds all the way at the end. I also have two 14 gauge conductors that are tied through to those Romexes, so I had two more 14s. Okay, so just keeping a nice organized list here. Okay, now we do have EGCs inside of this box. Yeah, we can do 4. Yeah, that's fine. We do have EGCs inside of this box. We have a 14 gauge EGC and we have a 12 gauge EGC. Let's look at the codes for EGCs. Okay, equipment grounding conductor fill in 5. Okay, it says where up to 4 equipment grounding conductors enter a box, a single volume allowance in accordance with table 314.16b1 shall be made based on the largest equipment grounding conductor entering the box. Okay, you will have to add a quarter volume allowance for each additional one, but we didn't exceed that. We only have 2 EGCs in this box. Okay, so basically we're going to count that as 112, right? We had a 14 and a 12. Since we didn't exceed 4, we're just going to take 1 volume allowance based on that biggest one. Okay, 14s total, I had 4 conductors. 12s total, I had 5 conductors. Okay, and let's multiply them out by what they are worth in the table. Let's go down to the next section. In 314.16b1, for volume allowances required per conductor, a 14 gauge is going to be worth 2. And a 12 gauge is going to be worth 2.25. Let's write that in. 2.0, 2.25. Let's do a little math. Okay, I will start with those 14s. 4 times 2 is 8 cubic inches there. Inches cubed. And the other one, let's do 5 times 2.25 equals 11 and a quarter. 11.25 inches cubed. Add them up. That's going to be what, 19.25 inches cubed. Okay, do we agree so far? You with me? Let's jump over to the section and see what we got. Now, this one, I don't particularly love that they give you all of these different sizes here, okay? But we are looking for the smallest size standard metal box that can be used for the following. So we're going to have to go through and kind of check all of these while we're going through and doing this. It's kind of annoying, but let's find out. Okay, so we have this listing of boxes right here. Let's do them one at a time. So we had a 3.5 inch deep masonry box. Okay, so we can go down. 3.5 inch deep masonry box is worth 21 cubic inches. 21. This second one is a deep switch box, 3x2 by 2.5. Okay. What do we got? Switch box. Let's see. It's going to be 3x2 by 2.5. There it is. Your device box is what they call it here. 3x2 by 2.5. It's only 12.5 cubic inches. So that's going to be a no. Not going to fit, right? Let's check the deep switch box 3x2 by 3.5. 3x2 by 3.5 gets us 18 cubic inches. Okay, 18 cubic inches. Again, still not big enough. Get it off the list. And then that deep handy box. Okay, that deep handy box is 4x2 1/8 by 2 1/8. Okay, 4x2 1/8 by 2 1/8. 14.5 cubic inches. Okay, not going to fit. Okay, not going to fit. So our best bet, and really our only bet with the available list, is going to be A. Now, occasionally you will get one of these that will give you multiple options, and they are looking for the smallest option. So break them down bit by bit. I get that these can be a lot. There's kind of a lot going on there. Take your time, make a nice, neat, structured list. Go through it, double check them, and you will inevitably come to the right conclusion. You got that.